It's clear Pokémon GO needs a holiday event every month to retain player interest. When Pokémon GO's lengthy holiday event ended a few days ago, I did something many other players have done as well. I stopped playing. After 3 consecutive months that contained large, mostly Western holidays, Halloween in October, Thanksgiving in November and Christmas in December, we now enter January. Though Niantic tied significant holiday events to each of those occasions, it's unclear that they're going to have another similar event for this month, as it seems unlikely they'd co-opt, say, Martin Luther King Jr. Day for such an outing. And yet, the appearance of constant events in Pokémon GO over the past few months has created an expectation for players that such things need to continue, and I'd argue that these events are now actually somewhat mandatory if the game wants to retain player interest. The existence of the events now actually has the potential to sink non-event player interest even more so than when events didn't exist at all. After an event that spawned a huge number of rare Pokémon, it can be hard to go back to the regular, boring pool and still be engaged. Or why care too terribly much about catching and evolving Pokémon for XP, or walking bodies for candy, when it's probably more logical to wait for the next double XP or candy event. You can see from Pokémon GO's revenue over the past few months that it's been a series of peaks and valleys, the peaks being holidays or new additions to the game, the valleys being everything else. And without such events? That just leaves valleys, and I worry that may be what we're heading into here. In my eyes, it's probably in Pokémon GO's best interest that Niantic continue to make events a consistent part of the game, at least once a month, even if there are no big Western holidays to celebrate. It's a global game, so there should be plenty of other holidays to reference around the world in any given month, and players won't really care why they're getting bonuses and new additions, but rather just that they're getting such things. GO has done an impressive job of retaining this many users, and paying ones at that, this far after launch. It's not a flash-in-the-pan fad, as it's put up some of its best revenue numbers since summer during this last holiday event, which is frankly stunning. But that only reinforces the idea that it's these events that keep people engaged with the game, and they need to keep coming despite the fact that it's no longer the traditional holiday season. Events don't just have to be holiday bonuses like double XP or increased spawns of X-type, they can, and should, be tied into new additions to the game. In my estimation, it was a big mistake for GO to introduce Gen 2 baby Pokémon into the egg pool without having a corresponding event to make their appearance more common. In that case, everyone got excited about new Pokémon, and yet in reality only a few people even saw them until the true event later in the month increased their spawn frequency. Something like that shouldn't happen again. At this point, GO needs something pretty major to regain interest, certainly within the next month or two. There are really only 2 options for that, and in this case, I don't think a simple bonus X event will cut it, no matter which global holiday it's tied to. Niantic needs to figure out how they're finally going to debut the game's legendary Pokémon at last, which would be the biggest moment of the game since launch. Or similarly, they need to do a fully fledged launch of Gen 2, which would need no special bonuses, as that alone would be enough to dramatically increase engagement with so many new Pokémon for players to catch. Both of these have been hinted at for ages, but we're now approaching 7 months since launch, and they remain out of reach. The lesson more generally, however, is that these events, of any sort, are good for both player enthusiasm and Niantic's wallet. Even though there may not be any obvious holidays on the horizon for new ones after the bounty of the fall and winter, Niantic is going to need to get creative, combining new features and bonuses to create new events to keep GO players active. Because right now, interest is fading fast, and the game needs constant shots of adrenaline to make sure it never actually flatlines. Check out these other amazing videos. Subscribe to our channel. Don't forget like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much. Subscribe now.